Hey guys, Mrs. Klein here again. Hope you're all doing well. This is May week 5, day 5 for those of you who have the packet that has the Lexia comprehension sheet over the life cycle of frogs. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. You're going to have to bear with me here because there's going to be a lot of going back and forth between these two pages. You can see right here gives you kind of a graphic organizer going over the main idea and then the key details of the passage. Well, if you look down below, then the next page is the passage, Becoming a Frog. So we're actually going to start here with Becoming a Frog, and I'm going to read it with you. It says, Becoming a Frog, and it numbers the paragraph. So paragraph number 1. What looks like a fish, swims like a fish, and gets air like a fish, but is not a fish? The answer to that riddle is a tadpole. A tadpole is not a fish. A tadpole grows and changes to become a frog. Paragraph number 2. Tadpoles begin their lives in water. Tadpoles hatch from eggs laid by an adult female frog. A tadpole has a round head and a tail. It breathes through gills like a fish. The newly hatched tadpole rests at first. Then, as its tail grows bigger and stronger, the tadpole uses it to swim about. Its main food is bits of water plants. Paragraph number 3. Over time, the tadpole's body changes. The changes may take weeks, months, or even years. The tadpole begins to grow legs. The hind legs appear first, and then the front legs. A tongue forms in its mouth. Inside its body, lungs take shape. Lungs are what land animals use to breathe on land. The tadpole's gills disappear. Paragraph 4. Finally, the animal leaves the water. It may still have a tail, which begins to shrink. The animal is not a plant eater anymore. It uses its long tongue to catch insects. The tadpole has become a frog. And then it gives a glossary down here of some different words that were, oh, they weren't highlighted. I thought that they were highlighted or bolded. But gills is, it tells you what, it gives you the definition here. So gills are what fish use to breathe in water. Lungs are what animals use to breathe air. And shrink, it means to get smaller. So it gives you a glossary, which gives some vocab words and definitions in that little box. Now we're going to go back to the page where we have to do the comprehension of this passage. So number 1 says, read and underline the definition of the word below. Knowing this word and its definition will help you complete the following activities. So you're going to read this word, develop. You're going to underline the definition. Let me get my pen out real quick. Okay, here's the definition. To develop is to grow, learn, or change. Okay. Now we're going to reread the passage, Becoming a Frog. I am not going to reread it on here for you. You may back up the video and listen to it again if you want. And we are going to use the glossary to help with the meaning of unfamiliar words. We already went over the words in the glossary. It says explore the diagram to help you understand the written information. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to this, and we did not discuss this picture diagram right here. And look, it shows that it starts out, there's little eggs, and then there's a little tadpole with just a tail. And then it starts to grow legs, the back legs, and now it has the back legs and some front legs, still a little bit of a tail, and then the tail starts disappearing, and finally it's the frog. Okay, so that's what that was saying, to look at that diagram. Okay, so we did both of those. Okay, number 3, informational texts have main ideas. The main idea of this text is in bold print in paragraph 1. Go back to the text and put a star next to the main idea. So instead of me going back and forth, it's going to be kind of small and hard to read, but I'm going to have 2 pages up here so you guys can see this. So we're going to put a star next to the main idea. Remember they said it's in bold in paragraph 1. So it's right here. Go ahead and put a star. And you guys can just do this kind of star like I'm doing. Okay? Yours will look better than mine because I'm on the computer. And it says, a tadpole is not a fish. A tadpole grows and changes and becomes a frog. So that's the main idea. And it said to put a star there. Now it says to write the main idea right here. So what you're going to do is write exactly what we just put a star by. So you're going to write a tadpole is not a fish, period. A tadpole grows and changes to become a frog. All you're doing is copying, okay? I got that exactly word for word over here from that bold main idea that we starred, okay? Now, it says informational texts also have key details that support the main idea. 3 key details are underlined in the text. Go back to the text and put a check mark next to each key detail. So they're already underlined for us. Here's the first one. Tadpoles begin their lives in water. Okay, put a check right there. Check. Here's another one. Over time, the tadpole's body changes. Put a check. And the third key detail is, finally, the animal leaves the water. Put a check. Okay, those are the 3 key details. And guess what? Now it wants you to write them. All you're going to do is copy them from the passage. So it says tadpoles begin their lives in water. If you need to pause this, if I'm going too fast, you can pause and catch up. For time, the tadpole's body changes. That was our second key detail. And the third one is, finally, the animal leaves the water. Okay, oop, I didn't put a period at the end of this one. Well, if I can get it here. Okay, I can't get that. So you guys just know to put a period at the end of that sentence. I'm very sorry. Okay, then 7 says, write a question about one of the key details in the text or the diagram. For example, you might ask, how does a tadpole's body change? So they were looking at these 3 key details and they said, how does a tadpole's body change? Okay, so they used this, the second key detail. Over time, the tadpole's body changes. We're going to come up with our own question. And we're going to look at one of the other key details. I heard somebody have a pretty good idea. Can somebody think of a question using, finally, the animal leaves the water? What could our question be? It's like we're writing our own test. We're going to come up with a test question. When does the animal leave the water? We have to put a question mark because it's a question, okay? Then, number 8 says, write an answer to your question. So now, we already wrote our test question. Now we have to give the answer to our test question. So we have to answer, when does the animal leave the water? And if you guys look over here in this paragraph, it says, finally, the animal leaves the water. It may still have a tail, which begins to shrink. The animal is not a plant eater anymore. It uses its long tongue to catch insects. The tadpole has become a frog. So when does it leave the water? When it becomes a frog. Good. So that's what we're going to write. The animal leaves the water when it has become a frog. Good job, guys. Super proud of you. This was a little more complicated than some of our other things that we've been working on. So I really wanted to walk you guys through that skill. Guess what? This part, writing the main idea and key details, that was almost like writing a summary of what we just read. And then we got to write our own test question and answer. That was pretty fun. So I look forward to doing some more of these with you. That was a pretty involved one, and I think they're all going to be different. So every Friday we'll be doing a Lexia skill builder together. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. I miss you all. Love and hugs. Bye.